Today I'm gonna make a video that no one asked for, but I thought it would be a fun idea. One of the things that I love most about making YouTube videos about my plant collection and sharing my plant journey is being able to go back and not necessarily rewatch my old videos because like that's a little bit cringe, but at least go back and see what my plant collection used to look like and the way that I had things, the plants that I even had, because frankly, like without these videos that I make, I don't know. Maybe it's because my memory is trash with having 2 children, but like I don't know if I would fully remember everything about like how my collection has evolved over time. You know, like there's only so much I can hold in my head or in my mind's eye, but this way, like I have like a literal documentation of how my plant collection has changed. So I thought it would be really fun to go back to my first houseplant tour ever and see what life was like back then. Reminisce, go through and watch it with you, kind of react to it. And originally I was only going to do my first houseplant tour, but then I thought maybe it would be more fun if I go through and react to all of them. We'll see. I might have to make future videos, but I thought it would be really cool to compare even like year to year to year. Like I said, I've made 3 of them. I have not made one in over a year, so I am overdue to make one. I'll probably make one in the spring is my guess. Hopefully I'll have time to do that of like an updated tour. But the video that I released before this video was like a walkthrough of my plant collection, just kind of giving you some updates. So it was not a formal tour, but you kind of got the gist of where my plants are at. So if you're curious about that, you can watch that video. Please focus on me. What are you doing? That's so rude. All right, hopefully that doesn't happen again. Anyways, of course I have a beverage with me. Bella V, grapefruit. This is Aldi brand, which like honestly, I don't mind. So truly, I am buckling in and I'm a little bit nervous. I've got my laptop here. I wish I had a proper desk to set this on, but it's fine. So my very first houseplant tour was 3 years ago. I recorded it November 4th, 2021, which means I was 23 and 26 now. Life was really different. I only had 1 child at that point. And I had like just moved into our house, I think. Yeah, we moved into our house in September of 2021. So it was 2 months after I moved into my house. Rude of you. That's rude. Okay, I don't know why my camera keeps on insisting on losing focus, but it's fine. Okay, let's begin. Here we are, my first houseplant tour. Of course, my intro. I'm kind of thinking about getting rid of it. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and we talk all about plants on this channel. So if you're into houseplants, you're in the right place. I wanted to do this. Okay. Why? I feel like I'm gonna cry. This is not happening this soon into my freaking video. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden so emotional. I think it's just because like seeing yourself in the past, like 3 years ago, this was so soon after I had started my YouTube channel and I had no idea like where it was gonna go. And obviously like I'm not like a huge channel or anything, but you know, each of my videos consistently get like over 1,000 views, if not more than that. And like, honestly, the fact that I've built like a core audience that enjoys my videos and my content and what I do. I was such a baby back then. And I was just throwing my voice out into the void, hoping that like a community would get built. And I was like talking and I was like excited and hopeful, but like, I just didn't know what was in store. And I don't know, I've been through a lot between the time that I recorded this video and now. A lot has changed in my life. Yeah, I think I am proud of myself, but also I feel like I'm kind of adorable in this video. I have my hair like up in a high ponytail. I was so bubbly. I feel like the sleep deprivation to this point in my life has really gotten to me. Let's just put it that way. Earlier when it was a lot sunnier, but you know, I kind of got held up by life and having a baby and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, today at long last I've decided to do a houseplant tour, just looking at all of the plants that I own. So my husband's trying to put my baby down for a nap and she's not having it. So don't mind that. Anyway,
that still happens.
So I am not convinced that I'll be able to do this all in one day, just because.
No, girl, you do. You manage it. Oh, that was nothing. I have a lot of plants. It was nothing compared to what I have now.
So we're just going to kick it right off with one of my favorite plant spots in my house, which is in my living room.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this setup kills me. This setup kills me. Okay, so I still am okay with like the piano vibe. Obviously, I got rid of my piano because like we just did not have the space. It did not fit our living room. I much prefer like the credenza that we have there now, and it has toy storage for the kids. I think it just looks prettier. But like, oh my gosh, that desk lamp with the grow light on it in the back there. Oh my gosh. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Honestly, I had just moved into the house. I was getting by. And like, if that's what you have, that's fine. And like, it functioned. But like, let's just say that I much prefer the setup that I have now. It's still not perfect, but like, it's a lot better. I have a pendant light hanging over the credenza. And in general, like even like the way that I set up my plants and even the way that my plants look. Okay, this video is going to take forever because I keep on like pausing the video. We're going to have to like skip through a little bit, but like
living room, it's just all on my piano. And I've got a nice humidifier going. This is quite a low light area of my home, especially during the winter time, which is why I have a grow light. And you know, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's nice because I can just kind of move it around depending on which plants really need it, and I can angle it however I like. So this was
so unnecessary.
It's a Syngonium podophyllum white butterfly. As you can see, it's a little bit leggy and it's seen better days, but honestly, it has put out so much new growth since it went through a rough patch earlier.
I don't really have this plant anymore. I just took cuttings of it and that's about it. But like, I just don't like this plant that much.
This year, I just wasn't watering it enough, I think. Syngonium neon robusta. It's just a pink variety that I got recently.
Don't have this one either anymore. Oh, okay, this plant looks so awful. And like, okay, I still have this plant and it doesn't look amazing, but it's actually right here, literally right here. It did have thrips recently, so I had to chop off some leaves, but look at it now. I don't have the crispy edges anymore. Not at least as bad as before. And the leaves are huge and it's still alive by some miracle. So yeah, but wow, it was in rough shape and I did not know what the heck I was doing with this plant. I still don't really.
I know it's rough, but let me tell you, it's having a comeback. Right here,
there's one little new leaf.
I think it's the first new growth that it's had since I got it 1.5 years ago, which is kind of insane, but I'm hoping that this new growth has acclimated to my environment, that it's finally happy. I've done so many things to try to make this guy happy. You know, I water it with distilled water and
I don't do that anymore. I also don't have it near a humidifier. That's the key.
Like an absolute king. So it was my first rodeo with the calathea, and you know, he used to be a lot more full and he's just lost leaves over and over. And
frankly, I'm shocked I still have this plant.
It's down to these last 3 leaves with this one on its last legs. And then
so that means I've had it for 4.5 years.
So I'm honestly really happy and gone through a rough patch.
Oh my gosh, this Scapercia looks so bad in this video. Now it looks incredible. Like, genuinely. I wonder if it had spider mite because like that looks so bad. Y'all were too nice to me in the comments. Ooh, so bad. It looks so bad. Girl, why didn't you chop away the old leaves?
Right here is my Hoya obovata with some new growth.
This plant took forever to grow. Forever.
For him to become a really big, nice plant.
Still don't have
Here's just a jade pothos that I propagated myself.
I don't know what happened to this one.
So maybe over time he'll trail down over the piano.
I think I gave it away. I still have that one. It's also right there. It looks kind of worse though. Low-key.
And
Over the last several months that I've had him, he's honestly just been thriving. He's put out tons of new growth. He's very pleased, and he's had some minimal crisp. I love the Gapertia zebrina, but this plant has had maybe 3 or 4 bouts with spider mites at this point. It has had mealybugs. Like, it was just completely infested with mealybugs for a while, and I just could not get rid of them. And now it has thrips. So I love this plant, and by some miracle, it has survived, but like a lot of it has died off, but there's still like some really, really beautiful leaves on it. But like, I think it actually does look a little bit better. Like, the leaves aren't as big in this video, like 3 years ago. Also, my brain just broke. I've had this plant for like 3 years. I'm gonna do this a lot in this video. I'm gonna realize like there's some plants I'm like, yeah, I got rid of that a long time ago, or that one died, or like I don't know what happened to that plant. But some of these other plants, I'm going to be just flabbergasted that I've had them for this long. Crazy. I do still have this plant, but it grows so slow for me. It is not. It looks pretty much the same. Right here is my Monstera adansonii one. I don't remember what happened to this plant. You'll see later, I had at least 2 or 3 Monstera adansonii. I think one of them I gave away. I think one of them either rotted or like the cats knocked it down or something. I think this one actually I chopped up and became the one that I have now. But like, obviously it was much bigger and more beautiful than the adansonii I currently have. I would love to get back to this. 1 out of 3. This one I'm trying to get to climb this coco coir pole. Never. Don't do it. Yes. Thank you. It's fine for support. Never. I don't use it ever. I still have it in my basement. I gave that one away because I just don't like it. I had several ZZs. I think I have 3 ZZs. I got rid of them all. I just don't I can never pronounce like them. The actual Marble Queen Pothos. Right over here is this gorgeous Marble Queen Pothos, or again Epipremnum, whatever you want to call it. My goal is for her to just trail down. Girl, I'm so sorry that never happened. Okay, I'm so sad. So this plant, I still technically have it. It just like stopped growing, and I think it stopped growing because maybe it was root bound or something. So I decided to break up the root ball and divide it into like 4 or 5 smaller plants and give them away, but like keep one for myself. And for a while it like looked really, really nice. I don't even know if I have any pictures of how it looked. Like, it was trailing a little bit more. It was less like overwhelming, because the thing that I didn't like about this plant was that it was like, I had bought it really big, but it just was taking up so much real estate. It just like looked unbalanced. So I decided to break it up, and I liked it the way that it was for a while, but my cats knocked it down, I think while we were out of town. So I came back and it was just like strewn all over the floor, and I was able to salvage a few cuttings, but not a lot. It almost completely died, but I still have this, like technically it's the same plant, but like it's way, way tinier now. And it's kind of sad because it was really pretty like this. Right over here, just hanging on this pretty macrame hanger that I made. It's one of my favorites that I've made actually, is just a Pearls and Jade Pothos. I still have this actually. I almost got rid of it like multiple times. Chilling, growing. But it's in my kitchen now. She had to fight with mealies at one point, but I think that they're all gone now. Right here is another Monstera adansonii that I really loved this plant. The cats also knocked this one down. 3 years ago, my cats were like even crazier than they are now. Here, and you know, putting them back in the pot to make them fuller. But I don't know, I kind of like this look that he's got going. Eventually, I like had it growing on the wall for a little bit. Climb the wall. It was really beautiful. And up here, oh my gosh. I don't know what just happened. Yeah, my video editing, it's still not perfect, but it's gotten a lot better. Although, I guess that's subjective. I've gotten a few comments where people like hate my editing style, but I've also got comments where people love it. So like, I guess it's just polarizing. But like, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing because I like what I'm doing. But anyway, like in terms of my thoroughness and my skill and like knowing what I'm doing, I'm much more confident now compared to what I was before. But in terms of my style, not everyone likes it.
Fun variegation up here.
Ooh.
Obviously, some of these newer leaves, honestly.
I don't have this golden pothos in my house anymore, but it is in my husband's office and thriving. Oh my gosh.
Dining room, we've got this beautiful philodendron Brazil that, you know, someday I'm hoping will trail down, of course. And I recently got all 3 of these plants right here that are on this wicker shelf, or not really wicker.
Rattan! Rattan!
Like screaming at the screen. No, not ramekin.
Rattan!
Oh, no. Yeah, Stromanthe.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I've had this plant for so long. That plant is thriving. This plant is not thriving. I still have this Mandula pothos. It looks the same. Like, I don't think it's grown at all.
Micans that, oh my gosh.
My Micans looks a lot bigger though.
Right, this Syndapsis Pictus argyrius right here has to be one of my favorite plants in my collection.
I miss
actually
it
bought
like
this
this.
larger plant
I
and
love
loved it and
this.
gave the other half to my mother-in-law, but she is just
Oh my gosh.
growing
Okay,
prolific.
this plant. So I combined this plant with another pot of Syndapsis Pictus argyrius that had been outside. Like, I had taken like cuttings of it and propagated it, and I had like 2 separate plants because I propagated one off the mother plant. And then I potted them together and it looked so good and I was so excited about it. But then it just like hated me, and it's hated me ever since. Like, it looks perpetually unwell. It got infested with mealybugs. The leaves are super bleached and it shoots off runners all the time. This plant really liked me for a really long time, but not anymore, not anymore. And I miss it like this. Like, I loved this plant like this so much. Like that, oh, look at how beautiful it was up on the top there. Oh, this plant looked so good. I miss it. But this plant has grown a ton. Oh, actually I have it right here. Here's the philodendron heteroecium. I think it's actually in the same pot too. So maybe I should repot it. It's not as full on top. I should probably take some propagations and like pot them back in the top if I want it to be nice and full, but like, girl.
Also a recent purchase that was
I gave it to a friend. I never liked this plant. Alphonse!
And then right here in this window, these are south-facing windows, and I've got these 2 Hoya. It's a Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess and Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen. They're very, very pretty.
These plants are so small.
But yeah, I'm hoping to, you know, we have a wooden
I did do
pole
this.
that we're hoping to hang up here by.
This is one of my favorite setups in my plant collection. It was so baby back then. I now have like 8 plants there.
For my Hoya. And then right over here is
Oh.
the first Monstera deliciosa that I ever purchased. I got him when he was
Oh, that's really bittersweet. So I gave this plant to a friend of mine. As I mentioned, I had 3 Monstera deliciosas in my collection. I currently have 2, but I'm probably going to get rid of one of them because I don't need that many. And I'm not like as attached to them as I used to be, I feel. But this one in particular was the first one I'd ever gotten. I gave it to my friend, and she may or may not have like totally murdered it. I don't know how. But it's fine.
much smaller, but yeah, he's a great plant, super prolific grower. We've been enjoy. I have taken some special little pins
I got rid of this
and
plant.
kind of wrapped the vines back into the pot and pinned it down. This is my Syndapsis.
Still have this
Pictus
one.
silveria.
Oh my gosh.
I've only got 1 mug there right now, which is kind of sad, but I'll refill that later. But anyways, so this is like my pride and joy ZZ over.
That was a good looking ZZ, and that was a good spot for it too.
Absolutely stunning and so big.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't wait to see her grow even bigger. This, of course, is, you know, my...
Of course. I forgot I had this. That's so funny. This lasted maybe 3 months in my collection.
Got this lovely Begonia maculata whitey that's just seems pretty
Girl.
happy so far. She's relatively...
This plant has been through so much. Still have it. I made like 20 plants from this one plant. It was so small.
And then right here,
I don't have any of those succulents anymore.
in
Actually,
my kitchen because
I don't know what happens to my aloe.
Here's an aloe vera plant right here to help you out. It's really cool that they
I don't
have
think that it
medicinal
died.
properties, and I think it looks pretty cute there. And right over here is one of my...
I literally don't know what happened to my aloe. I'm so confused. I don't think that it died. That is so weird. I like literally don't know what happened to my aloe. Anyway, fiddly fig, that's dead.
So going up
Ooh,
the stairs,
okay.
we've got by this east-facing window
Wow.
here, we have our lovely Maranta leuconora, but it's the red-veined version.
Okay, so I had gotten this plant from a friend, and he totally had spider mites. And I just like didn't know how to find it at that point. Like I was just so new to plants, relatively speaking. But obviously like he didn't know. He just knew that it wasn't doing well. And he was like, oh, can you revive this plant? But this plant, I will say, like looks incredible now. It looks so good.
These were some of the original leaves that he came to me with. And I am wondering if he used to have a pet.
Not used to. He still did.
Leaves seem pretty fun. So I'll trust he's okay. I haven't seen
Also,
any
it was
signs
in
of a pest
terracotta.
with me. So
Looking
good. And then right up here we have this
Still have this plant. It has not grown a lot.
which I found at a Walmart.
Ooh, I don't think I have any of these plants.
But these plants
Still.
honestly are
None of them.
chugging along and still
None of them.
It's my Maranta.
Still have that, but also terracotta again for a prayer plant. No, no, no.
Happier Calathea white.
This plant does not exist anymore. She's gone. Gone. I'm kind of curious if I were to get it like now, if it would do okay in my collection.
Oh
my gosh.
It makes me feel like I'm in a rainforest. But here I've got
Humidifier.
a couple of monsters.
Dude, this setup looks so different. So this is where, so I have 2 monsteras here in this video. Now I have my greenhouse cabinet and a ton of plants that are on moss poles. With like my crate setup, it looks completely different. And I've added 2 grow lights in addition to like the grow lights that are in my greenhouse cabinet. So much better setup. But wow, that's crazy. Also, these monsteras like kind of look a little bit rough. Whoops. It looks so different. I much prefer my setup like currently.
On my daughter's nursery, we've got just a few little plants.
Oh my gosh.
Here's another
What is this
hanging.
music? I'm not about it. It's so loud. Girlfriend.
Super cute though. Over here we just have
This plant
albiflora.
got spider mites.
Rainbow, I think it is.
It lasted for a while. I still have this one, but it's like not doing really well right now.
I love this little pot as well. But yeah,
Aw.
just because it has.
This is what
an
my
east-facing
daughter
window right
was
there
like,
and 2 south-facing windows. But for the sake of now,
not even
I've
one
had to
yet.
block them out.
She was like
Just
9
so
months
it's
old.
dark enough for her to sleep during
Oh
the
my
day.
gosh.
So we just have
This is
one
like her
south-facing
nursery.
window to kind of compromise.
That's so sad.
And that way I can have just a few
I miss
plants
it.
in this little corner. But someday when she grows up, I'll be able to put more plants in here. Or
Oh my gosh. This is the room I'm in now. This looks so different.
window. And
Don't have that plant anymore.
I mean, I really want to
No more
organize this
syngonium.
room better and add some shelves up here. I think that'll look really nice, but for now I just kind of have, I tend to quarantine plants in here, or if plants are struggling, I just stick them in here, or if the cats are bothering.
I don't know that I have any of these plants anymore.
Syngonium, it did.
That's another syngonium, and then like a Tradescantia Nanook and Begonia Ariel. I don't think that I have any of them. But Begonia Ariel is like barely alive. It's hanging on for dear life.
A Calamandan
my
orange
gosh.
tree.
I just randomly had an orange
I
tree.
need to rehome it because
I
it
did
just
rehome
needs
it.
so much light.
Yeah,
It
I
took
think both
actually
of those
really
died. I
50%
think they
off,
both
so-
had root rot, and that's why they were 50% off. So they both promptly died.
And this, of course, is my Syngonium albo. I used to have her downstairs, but
Still have this plant, and it's doing very well, relatively speaking.
I don't know. I feel super psyched out about this plant, so I want to make sure I take great care
It was
of
so
her.
expensive.
I do think this leaf is dying off, unfortunately, but it just put out new growth, so... And
It looks like a little bit sick. Don't have that one anymore. I do still have this plant. It doesn't look that much better though. I like got rid of all this like succulent stuff. Like I have a couple of specific succulents, but like I kind of fell out of love with that whole thing.
Here is
I do still have this one.
Ficus elastica taniki. Very pretty plant. Gorgeous.
I put it outside like every summer, and it likes it. I have my Carnosa compacta. But obviously, like I got rid of this table. I now have like this set up right there. I much prefer it. Oh my gosh.
Monstera Peru and my Rhiphidophora.
I do still have both of these plants.
Monstera
I love
Jimmy,
these plants.
sometimes known as. That's definitely what I purchased it as. But let me tell you, this is one of my favorite plants. It is such a prolific grower. I'm honestly...
This plant does grow really, really fast. It still does.
And then, yes, my Monstera Peru, which...
I went through a whole thing with this plant. I had it in the same exact setup for like 3 years until I like just now completely changed it. I do still have this plant, and it's in the same spot, like up there.
And repotted it, and it's looking so beautiful right next to my...
That golden pothos I gave away. I don't have one like in my own personal collection anymore.
Please don't judge. It's not the cleanest because this often becomes our storage space. A wedding picture that we still need to hang up somewhere, but we haven't decided where.
Oh, good old
so
prop
right here are my two
boxes.
propagation boxes, and I'm not going to open them up because I'm planning on making a video on my propagations that are going, and I don't want to spoil it.
I do them differently now, but that was always fun. I don't think I have any of these anymore. This pubicalyx died. I don't know. I think it got dry rot or something. I did not like this setup in the attic. I just did not. Our setup like still isn't fantastic, but like it's better. I do have this plant in my bedroom now. It's like climbing up the wall. I don't have these plants anymore either. The attic was kind of where I put like all of my reject plants that were like, ugh. I didn't have the heart to throw them away, but like I didn't love them either. I had like a lot of duplicate plants.
Golden pothos or jade pothos.
Like multiple of the same kind of pothos, which I also don't typically do anymore. Don't have that anymore. Oh, okay.
He just hasn't cleared it off recently, but I've got...
I do like this plant
some
still.
aloe.
It was a gift from a friend, like at this point, 6 or 7 years ago.
That inspired me to start collecting plants because I got it from a friend of mine in college.
Mm-hmm. It's not like in my collection, but it's in my husband's office. It's one of my husband's plants now. I got rid of this one.
Random anthurium. But yeah, it's one of those.
I never liked them. I don't know why I had it. Yay! Okay, so that was the first plant tour that I did, but I've been recording for a while. And I even like skipped through the video a little bit just because like it's a long video. And I kind of was trying to like get the gist of it. I'm trying to decide if I want to try to do the other. I wish that like you could like be with me face to face and be like, yeah, I want to see the next video, or no, like you should stop there, you know? Maybe I'll just like skip through it a little bit just to like compare it, you know? My camera battery is about to die either way, so I need to replace it. So hang on. I think I am going to review the next ones just because it'll be fun to like make comparisons across time, you know? You want to sit in my lap? But first, yeah, I'm gonna engage with the snack. We'll dive right back in. This one is the next one. I released it March 13th, 2023. So it was over a year, like a year and like I guess a year and a half almost between my first plant tour and the second one. I'm actually considering getting rid of this intro just for something new. Ooh, fancy introduction. It's a little bit closer to what I do now. I recorded this on my camera, whereas the last one was recorded on my phone.
Hello, my beautiful buds.
Oh, but the audio was not good.
My name is Joy, and if you like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. And today we are filming a grand old houseplant tour. This will be my second houseplant tour ever, and I remember
I did this on a Sunday afternoon, and I had been procrastinating filming it for the longest time. My husband helped me to film it, and I think either my kids were being watched by my mother-in-law or they were both napping. something like that. But this was like shortly after my son was born, actually. But you didn't really ask for any of that.
Oh gosh, maybe like a year and a half ago. Let's just say a lot has changed around here since then. I love creating houseplant tour videos because it kind of freezes everything in time as my collection stands right now.
Dude, that's like pretty much exactly what I said at the beginning of this video.
Because, I don't know, I just felt like I decided, you know what, I'm of the fun. Disclaimer, but you know, jump into the houseplant tour. Spring 2023, baby.
Ooh.
Okay, so I think...
Oh my gosh. I don't like the audio. And I don't like that my husband was recording it. It's like you can hear him like breathing and like squeaking in the background.
Child, though, it's my Hoya Carnosa. It has dealt with
this has grown a little bit more, but not that much
and
more.
As you can see, there's some sulfur fungicide remnants kind of on it from treating it for flat mites. And
yeah, this setup is definitely closer to what I have now, but it's not exact, but it's close.
Because it is a sunny day in a south-facing window, honestly, this might be kind of backlit. This right here,
filming skills were slightly better, but like not by much.
Crimson Princess.
I appreciate the B-roll. That takes like more effort to edit and record all of that.
So far, which is really exciting. I think
my Hoya Ficii has grown a lot.
I'm gonna be like going pretty quick here.
Girl, you think?
And then right here is my Hoya Paullinera.
Oh my gosh, my Hoya Paullinera has grown so much compared to this. That's insane. It's grown so much.
Lacunosa Silver or Super Silver.
Same for my Hoya Lacunosa. Oh my gosh. A lot of my Hoyas have grown tremendously in the last year and a half since I recorded this video. This prayer plant is still there and it looks incredible. It actually kind of blows my mind. Like it looks even like 10 times better than this right now. It's crazy.
I think that it's because of light. I think that if you were to give this plant a lot more light, the leaves would come out really dark. And then down here behind the baby swing is a philodendron green Congo, I believe.
This plant is not with us anymore.
I feel like he's been putting out this.
I liked this plant a lot, but yeah, it did not last.
It's gonna be a massive one, it looks like. This was a plant that
my children
put
like
outside for the summer last year.
Would rip up this plant and like knocked it down, and it like suffered. It did not last. I got rid of these little orchids actually. They were cute while they lasted, but like eventually I just was like, not feeling them anymore, so I got rid of them.
Is one of my pride and joys. She is in my Syndapsis
still have that plant
exotica.
there.
She is honestly such a prolific grower, and the leaves are so big and gorgeous.
Facts, still accurate, that's for sure.
The dining room with several plants over here.
This looks
starting right
almost
here,
the same.
One of my toddler's supposed to be napping, but she just opened the door and is calling for me. It's
right,
nap time, baby girl. Most typical heartleaf philodendron that's like green.
Yeah, that one's still there. It's been in that pot for like 4 years or 3 years or however long.
Plant did have a bout with root rot. In reality, it was actually dry rot because I horribly underwatered it while I was pregnant with my now
this plant still has not recovered from whatever happened during my son's pregnancy. Like it's just barely hanging on. I think this plant is in the same exact spot as it is today. Like it has continued to just like do fine. I've already talked about the Syndaptis pictus argyrius. It did badly need a repot, but then it just didn't work very well.
Admittedly, she has seen better days. She's gotten spider mites a number of times. And also,
as I mentioned before, this plant, that happened.
Right here is my Rhiphidophora tetrasperma, just kind of going up the wall here.
That plant has grown all the way up to the ceiling multiple times since then. And I've like had to chop it back a lot.
Vibes just because of the way that it grows. It's just,
I would still say that. It's such a beautiful plant. And people always talk about it when they walk in the door. They're like, oh my gosh, look at that plant.
Monstera deliciosa. It has grown.
Yeah, we already talked about that. It's not here anymore. Well, here's the kitchen. A lot of these plants are in the same spot.
So right over here, I just have some random propagations going.
None of that is the same. I don't have propagations there anymore. I do have that opuntia still, but it's overwintering in the basement.
Yeah. And right here is just a lovely ZZ plant that basically never does anything. Even though, I mean, it's right by the sun.
That's part of the reason I got rid of it. It just like wasn't exciting to me anymore.
Calathea yellow fusion. Yes, it has had spider mites like 1,000
I very recently got rid of that plant.
horribly over the winter time, but then I put it outside during the summer and it just explodes with growth. So I
got rid of it because it did horribly after this past summertime, and I was just like, it's not worth it anymore. That is still in the same exact spot. It has grown like a little bit.
Before, so I don't really know what to look for, but whatever is popping up right here,
Girl,
doesn't look like leaves.
it was your first
It looks like a peduncle to me. So this might be my first
so
Hoya
excited.
to flower for me. And here, let me show you. It's just a little baby peduncle, I think.
Just so that you know, so that was my very first Hoya peduncle on my Hoya latifolia alba marginata. That peduncle, it didn't like fully bloom, but I got like a couple of tiny little flowers off of it, but like most of it just like kind of shriveled away, which was very disappointing. But since then I've had multiple Hoyas bloom for me. Not all of them by any means, but like a lot more.
Cactus, whom I love.
Ooh.
It has a lot
Oh
of
my gosh, this plant is so much bigger compared to like in this video. Right now it's so big.
Reticulata or verticulata, whatever, or red log peperomia.
I got rid of this a while back.
I tried giving this plant a makeover, and it kind of worked for a while.
You can tell
but
I
it
just
kind of
didn't,
flopped back
was
down
not
again.
happy with it.
Are just some begonia maculata whitey eye propagations. So I'm going to give these away to friends. But
I was in the thick of propagating this plant so much.
this over here, I believe, is the philodendron Mia.
My philodendron Mia lived over here for a long time. Maybe like 2.5 years before I ended up giving it away.
Sizes, a bunch of light will just.
But again, I never liked it.
As well, she's very nice next to the coffee bar.
Okay, let's find another spot that's more exciting.
This is actually a new home for this plant. It's probably not going to be the permanent home, but I just stuck it here as a place to put it. This is a philodendron silver sword pot.
Oh, that's right. I tried with the silver sword, and I still have like one propagation of it living in my prop box, just in case I changed my mind, but I ended up like chopping it up, giving it away. Like it grew a lot from there, but like the leaves never really looked nice. I was never really into it, and yeah, I sort of gave up on this plant a little bit.
Right here's my Aglaonema Maria, which is honestly like really going off right now.
It still lives there.
This is just by my TV, so sorry for the clutter and stuff, but okay, right here, look at the new leaves that are all popping up.
If only it would be going off now. Maybe I need to move it. I don't know.
I divided the plant up, and some part of me.
Okay, remember what I was talking about with the last houseplant tour? This was the medium stage. This was before my cats knocked it down. And like I was happy with it in this way. Like this
Shape of this, it's not quite as bulky and overwhelming as the old plant was. And right here is my Tradescantia chrysophylla. In between, this is
still have this plant in this corner by some miracle.
living room, and there are a number of north-facing windows kind of on this.
I still had my piano here.
They really don't provide a lot of light at all because this is where like our front porch area is. So yeah, there's hardly any light really reaching these plants realistically, hence the grow light. I feel like this is not enough for all of these plants. Like some of the plants that are on the fringes really don't get nearly as much light as they probably need.
This was when I like was trying to cram as many plants as possible in this space. And I've changed my approach to this space. I have the credenza there now. And like, let me just say that like this is at least 10 times better from what I had in my first houseplant tour. Like it improved tremendously. I'm a little bit more minimalist with this corner now because this was like, I think it was pretty, but it was like a little bit overwhelming to me sometimes when I looked at it. And so I ended up moving a lot of these plants around.
Right here is a philodendron pink princess that I mean, if I'm being honest, the leaves get caught like all the time. I probably need to like stake it up more.
I was already feeling really frustrated with this plant. I have propagated and like started Pink Princess over countless times, so many times. I currently have 2 propagations of it, but like I gave away this bigger version of the plant because like as it grew, it just eventually was like, no, I'm not interested in growing that anymore. Almost given up on this plant. I will say, I feel like it's not as bad as I remember it being.
Okay, this right here is
this plant,
a begonia maculata.
It did so well for such a long time.
I don't know what it is. I mean, you saw the other propagations I took of this plant. I had, or I still have really, you'll probably see it later, a massive one of these that was kind of my original plant. I chopped.
I wish I had a houseplant grower where I featured this like in its like biggest form because it was huge. So like this was like after I'd already chopped it up. So like the first houseplant tour, it was like really small still. Then it grew huge. Then I chopped it up and like repotted it into this pot. But like it never like took off again in the way that it had before. So I don't really know why that is. But I'm hoping to return to the way it was before if I can. Yeah. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. Oh, sad. My clarinervium is not with us anymore, which is devastating to me.
But maybe I'll try. This is my Maranta Lecanora lemon.
I love this plant.
So it's
I still have it. It's still doing great.
This is, but it's starting to get kind of leggy. This is my begonia aerial, and so this is the other begonia.
Don't have it.
Calathea ornata. And this one has been kind of a roller coaster for me. This was my very, very first Calathea or, plant of that variety that I owned. And so, as you can imagine.
So it looks a lot better than it did in the first. Oh my gosh, this edit.
Completely mastered it. I mean, as you can see, there are some crispy edges. Honestly, like if you miss a watering,
it's definitely crispy. Right now, it's not really that crispy, thankfully. Like we've gotten past the crispiness.
Like a Persia lancifolia, and is not doing well because I missed a watering, and so
it went through a super rough phase here.
Sad. I typically try to stay on top of these, but sometimes you just can't keep up with everything in life, and
girl, especially back during this point in time, I had a 2-year-old and I had like a 4 or 5 month old or something. I was very tired. I don't know how I did it. Like it's hard now, but like my daughter's at preschool right now while I'm recording this, and my son is now 2. Like the one that was 5 months in this video, he's 2 now and he's taking a nap. So like I'm recording this, I have like peace and quiet and like, I don't know. Life is a lot different now.
Plants just tend to be a little bit less forgiving. If you're in a really solid routine with them, great. But if you let them dry out too much, they get really unhappy with you.
I would say I still stand by that. Like consistency with the Marine TCA family is key.
But these leaves, I'm guessing, will probably just end up dying off. I definitely thought that I talked about this plant, but I don't have any footage of that.
Look, it looks so much better already right now.
Favorite plants in my collection, it's my philodendron squamiferum.
Squamiferum. I loved how it looked like in this stage. This was like one of my favorite parts or my favorite times of owning this plant. And then it like grew really big and got overwhelming. And now it's back to being small. I feel like every plant kind of has their own sweet spot, if that makes sense. I still have that plant. It looks very similar. And it's in the same spot. I think I consolidated that plant with my other Brazil, maybe. Oh my gosh. I still have this plant, but like, I'm really sad because it was doing really well. And then a friend knocked it down. And then it did not do well. It almost died.
A staghorn fern that I mounted. I think
oh my gosh. I didn't realize how much my staghorn fern had grown, but now that I'm seeing this video, my mind is honestly completely blown. Like, my staghorn fern just looks so much bigger than that now. And here I was feeling like, oh, it hasn't really grown that much. It's grown a lot. Same with my Hoya Crimson Queen that's right here on the screen. That's also grown quite a bit.
Her all that often, it takes her forever.
I love this plant, which is so good.
Nice. Very drought tolerant plant right there. My daughter is napping in here. Her nursery has some south facing windows.
Oh gosh. Girl, I don't like the way that I used to put like a warp stabilizer effect. It did not look good. I don't know what I was thinking.
New growth. I typically put it outside for the summer and it goes absolutely crazy.
I don't have this plant anymore, but it looked pretty cool in this video. Oh my gosh, my bedroom looks so different. This has been one of the places that has changed the most, for sure.
And one small west-facing window on the opposite end of the room. This little corner is like probably my lowest light corner in my whole house where I have plants.
It looks kind of similar. Yeah, it's still growing like that, and it's still in the same pot. I probably need to repot it.
Vessel to water, but I love it. I mean, it's so beautiful.
I put it in my attic now.
A lot of space, but I still really like it.
But I'm probably gonna get rid of this one, like the really big monstera.
Right here, but this is a grow light to try to compensate for that.
Okay, wow, things have changed a lot. Oh my gosh. What is this setup?
Probably put it right here and kind of move this shelving space to another area. But just because like it doesn't get a ton of light anyways, I may as well and like maybe move this grow light over there.
I did all of those things pretty much.
But I'll start over here. So this is...
So just to compare, I moved that ladder shelf to this bedroom that we're in now. It's actually in that corner behind the camera. And I now have my greenhouse cabinet there. I have a bunch of plants on top of the cabinet. So I did not end up moving the grow light because that provides light to the top plants on the cabinet. And then I also added like a bunch of crates in that corner as well. I still have that like bamboo looking rattan plant stand. But yeah, and I did so much moving things around. Oh my goodness. Like it's hardly comparable.
Another
frankly.
plant that I love for obvious reasons. It's my Monstera Thai constellation. And she is putting out a new leaf, which I'm super excited.
Oh my gosh, this plant has been such a slow grower for me.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say obviously, but I know it's pretty common for people to experience this plant as a very slow grower.
I've had this plant in like an east-facing window for maybe 8 months now. And that hasn't really helped. Like, I think it's just a slow grower.
Well, I will say I noticed earlier, I don't know how well you can see this, but look, she's got some roots that are
I think that's part of the
like,
problem.
up out of the pot.
It gets
which is
root bound so quickly.
So I don't know. Super duper cute.
Oh, my Splendid. Oh, it's so different now.
I'm probably gonna chop and proper though. This right here is my Homolamina.
Oh gosh, that is not in my collection anymore.
And it was a very experimental.
This did not last long.
First Homolamina, and it's not looking the best ever.
Yeah,
I
girl,
did repot it recently, and the root system honestly did not look very good.
I probably shouldn't have put it in terracotta, first of all. Okay, my camera totally cut out, so the thing that I think I was saying before it cut out was that I shouldn't have potted into terracotta. So when I went to repot it and I saw that the root system was like awful, I should have tried to reroot it in like a higher humidity situation, put it in sphagnum moss, but yeah, in the moment, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was just like, I just couldn't be bothered in the moment. The strawberry milk is so tiny. Like, it's still not huge, but it has grown substantially compared to what it was. Also, my husband was struggling so hard with getting this to focus. Still, with the desk lamp grow light, oh my gosh. Okay, my Stromanthe Trio Star is crazy. That looks so rough. That looks so rough.
Stromanthe Trio Star. This plant has gotten spider
I went through like a big rough patch, but if only I could know what was about to happen. Because now if you like go back and see like the last video I released, you can see it. Like, it looks so incredible. Like, it had like the greatest comeback, honestly.
This is a plant I've been kind of annoyed at recently, even though it's beautiful. This is my Epipremnum Panatum albo.
This plant has grown so much.
I'm obsessed with this plant. It's one of my happiest plants right now today. There's new growth.
Do you see this? It has grown so much compared to like, what, a year and a half ago? Oh, cat, hi. Are you in the way? Okay.
And it's starting to kind of attach to this plank too.
Crazy.
You can see there's some aerial roots that are coming out and trying to attach. This is just an air plant. I believe it's a Tillandsia bulbosa. This is not going to be the permanent
Oh,
home.
the air plant. This did not last very long in my collection. It was cool, but it lasted maybe like 6 months. But it was my first air plant ever.
I can't figure out where I want.
Okay, the exposure in this shot is like
Which I recently
so bad.
chopped and propped.
I do still have this plant.
I love the
It's not doing great right now, but it was doing fantastic for a while it was living in my greenhouse cabinet.
I think the most recent leaf, no, this is technically the most recent leaf that it put out. It looks a little bit sad, but it also gave me this leaf around the same time, and it looks a little bit happier, so that's better. I'm into the edge of the pot.
So many things have changed. Like, I'm just like looking through this and so many things have changed. I mean, I do still have my Syngonium erythrophyllum, but it's now in this room instead. I moved this ladder shelf into this room and like into this corner, and I put my greenhouse cabinet in my bedroom, added crates, and everything is so different. It's crazy. And my philodendron white princess that I'm looking at right now, I don't have this exact plant anymore because I got a different plant that had pink variegation in it that's much bigger, but I did take a cutting of this plant after it had already grown a lot. So I don't know, just things change so much,
I guess. And then over here we've got my Monstera siltepecana, which this plant, I purchased it and it ended up having root rot.
I really went through it with the siltepecana.
It was unfortunate, so I had to completely reroot it. But thankfully, I mean, she is growing pretty.
It really doesn't look that bad. Like compared to what it looks like now, it's small, but it's cute. At least it's bushy. But right now, it does not look good. It's very frustrating.
And this is my Syndapsis lucens.
Oh, this plant.
Which I love how the leaves are like kind of.
It croaked on me, but it was a really cool plant. I had it for almost a year. But it was super finicky.
Here we have my philodendron fuzzy petiole, which is.
I still don't know what to do with this plant. I was really unhappy with how unruly it was, so I did eventually like take some cuttings and reroot them and put it up a moss pole, and like I got rid of the rest of the plant. Then I got thrips, so it's not doing so hot right now.
It's my philodendron Florida Ghost.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, come on. This plant has been super easy. I definitely need to.
I think, so I really loved this Florida Ghost like in this size. It's right here right now and it's in a much bigger pot, but I don't think it looks as good as it did in this video. The only thing that I would have preferred is if like it had been putting out lighter leaves more consistently. Oh my gosh. Okay, guest bedroom. This is where I am now. It looks so different. Eye is itching so badly right now. I don't know what is going on. I think it's just the dry air. Like it's so dry. So don't mind me. I'm just like over here struggling. Anyway, I don't have plants right here anymore, which I think I prefer because it just felt so crowded before. I really like the layout of my room, of this room currently. But my philodendron audipapawense there. So that was before I like chopped it up completely and I made so many plants out of that one philodendron audipapawense, gave some away, sent some away in plant trades and stuff like that. But I still obviously have the plant, and I can actually say now that I'm looking at it, so I grew it, like I regrew the plant from a single cutting. I'm finally at the size that I like originally purchased the plant at, or I've like surpassed that, because like this was close to after I purchased the plant. Maybe like 6 months after I had purchased it. I don't know. And you can also see my Begonia maculata whitey eye, the desiccated remains of what it was before. Because like it had gotten like that big, but I obviously took like a ton of cuttings off of it. Like that was like the remains of the plant after taking tons and tons and tons of cuttings. This corner definitely looks kind of cluttered. I prefer what I have now.
Gorgeous pink.
Still love the summer glory though.
Here is my Tenanthe Burley Marxii. This has to be my lowest maintenance plant in the Maranthiaceae family. It's so beautiful, super chill. She just lives right there. And I also have this philodendron mame.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But all right, I'm going to talk about the Tenanthe first anyway, not the mame. But the Tenanthe, all right, let's just look at that. I still have it in that corner, but I took it out of terracotta because it was not happy in the terracotta. Okay, my mame. If you don't know, my mame has fallen victim to thrips and looks terrible right now. And I love this plant. This was not at its full glory, but like it looked pretty good in this video. Oh my gosh. I'm so sad. I will say, like, looking at this whole corner,
Lord, which has also given me some issues, but he seems pretty happy.
Let's talk about the Dark Lord. This plant still looks awful. It looked awful then. It still looks awful. It has never been happy for me, and I've been through hell and back with it, but it's not working. I'm gonna try again, but like it's currently ravaged by thrips as well. Ridiculous. But what I was trying to say about like this corner, I'm really glad that I put this ladder shelf here because it looks way more balanced. Like looking at this, like it's fine, but it just does not look as good as it looks now. So I'm glad for that.
I repotted him recently. I see like roots coming in on the sides.
My eyes are
and I have him going up a pole now, so hopefully he likes that structure. Right here is my Hoya elliptica.
I do still have this plant, but yeah, it's downstairs.
That south-facing window in my dining room. I just need, here's my mom.
Okay, you guys saw what it looked like before when I had just potted it up with that pole. And it grew a lot over the course of a year and a half.
But she's really pretty. She's really easy other than the fact that she does not propagate well.
Except for when I just propped the entire thing and was very successful for this makeover. I will say I probably lost like half the cutting. So like generally speaking, yeah, it was not like the greatest success rate, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. I did a makeover with it and now it's like bushier rather than like going up a pole. I love it.
And then right here I have my Hoya Mathilde. This has probably been one of my easiest.
It's easy, but it's a slow grower.
Have her going up this trellis.
And I have it trailing now instead of on the trellis, which I definitely prefer. Syngonium albo, sis. This was when I put it on the plank and I was trying to get it to grow, but it did not really work.
Propagates so easily, like definitely one of my easiest plants to propagate. It's awesome. And I'm realizing that you probably can't see it right now because the sun is just going like,
I love that edit still.
Right onto it from the west facing window.
Okay, actually, I love the way that it looks like that, like just that. But eventually it just like got super leggy and did not grow the way that I wanted it to. So I redid that one.
Black velvet. It is one of 2 alocasias that I own. It was my first alocasia and she has done really, really well.
Oh, that black velvet looks a lot better like in this video than it does right now. Right now it's going through a rough patch.
It was labeled as a syngonium. I really don't think this is...
I'm pretty much confirmed it's a monstera. Like our whole plant community, like the local plant community kind of figured it out. But it's still kind of a no ID. It's grown a lot, but I think I prefer the way that it looks in this video than it does right now. This did not last very long in my collection. I don't know what happened to that head planter. I think I still have it somewhere, but I don't have any plants in it. I should find that head planter. Anyway, I've switched a lot of things around here. Like none of this looks the same. Except I still have like the books there and I have my philodendron herculean.
Purple variety or not, but when it gets a lot of sun stress.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm looking at my Hoya pubicalyx, like the royal one, and I have it on my greenhouse cabinet now, like on top of it, and it is way bigger. It grew so much. It's crazy.
Right now.
Oh my gosh, my Hoya linearis. Oh my gosh, it has grown an insane amount. Like, that looks so tiny. Same for my String of Hearts Silver Glory. Like, I still have it there, but it looks a lot. It's much bigger. Ooh, attic. The attic has also changed a lot. I don't have as many prop boxes. I only have 1 prop box right now, actually.
Definitely an ongoing project to organize this place, but right here is a south-facing window. Here's another Monstera deliciosa. I may or may not give it away soon. I just kind of stuck it up here. Needs a place to put it because I was rearranging some plants.
That Monstera deliciosa that I brought up to the attic is actually the one that I decided to keep. Like, that's the one that I'm keeping in my collection of the 3 that I had.
Prop boxes. I'm not going to show you every single one of them, like if there are any repeats, but I use these also as kind of a rehab center for some plants that aren't doing as well, or need to like...
I still kind of do that, but I just don't have as many going.
So right here in this first prop box,
Oh my gosh.
we have, I guess this is my philodendron green.
I've given up on my Branty and I don't like it anymore.
Right here is super
Oh my gosh.
cute. At some point relatively soon, I might pot.
Dude, I forgot that I had my philodendron gigas just like sitting in the prop box. But do you see how tiny that is? And now it is massive by comparison. If you're familiar with my collection at all, that is insane. I can't believe how much it's grown.
It up with a plank or a pole plant applications because I decided
That
to
did
get
not
rid
last.
of my old watermelon pepper. So this is my
Oh my
alocasia
gosh.
purpurea.
Yeah, it was not looking good at all.
I just stuck it in here because it was declining a lot, and I'm just hoping.
It looks a lot better now.
And then here I have two Syndapsis
I did
jade
pot those up and they're like actively in my collection now. They look great.
It's rooting really nice.
That's so exciting that like all these propagations and rehab plants are doing much better.
Painted lady top cut that I have right here. Right here is my Hoya Morillii.
That plant went through a lot in my collection actually.
Yes.
Yay! Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's a lot fatter now.
Well, I think that's pretty much
Wow.
everything. I
Whew. So that's the second one. Do I have it in me to go through the third one? And this video is probably gonna be so long. I might go make myself a coffee. I'm gonna like charge my camera battery. We'll be back to finish this, but like, I think I need a second. Okay, we're back. I got myself some coffee. Hopefully my camera battery doesn't die. And hopefully, oh my gosh. I fear that I might be like developing a cold as we speak, which is not unheard of considering I have two very young children. Let us hope that that's not the case, but like my eyes are watering, I'm sneezing, and I'm not allergic to my cats because like that would be a little bit strange for me to just suddenly develop a cat allergy in the course of one day. Let's dive into this last video. And the videos have just gotten longer and longer, the houseplant tour. So I'm probably gonna skip through this one a little bit more than the other ones, but we'll see. Ooh. I think this is my favorite like intro part so far. I'm definitely like improving.
Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is
I
Joy.
love my hair.
You're in the right place. Today I'm going to show you just about every houseplant in my
I kind of miss
entire
having my
collection.
hair that short.
Of my
It was really cute in my opinion. Like I liked it at that length.
just made a video on those, and it would take entirely too long to add that on top of all the other plants, so yeah.
I actually cut my hair myself.
Try to not ramble with every single plant because I have a tendency to do that. The way that I decorate things and my plant placement just change all the time, and obviously my plants are all
Actually,
I always find it fun.
I don't think I even told you when this video was. So this one was in November of 2023. I released it like the day after Thanksgiving, I think, but I had filmed it like the beginning of November, just over a year ago. So I'm definitely very badly due for a new houseplant tour because this is the most recent one that I've done and a lot has changed in my collection since then. But this was actually only maybe like 8 months after the second houseplant tour that I had done. So like the one that we just reviewed. But the main reason that I had wanted to do a second houseplant tour in the span of a single year was that like literally so much had changed and I had actually gotten my greenhouse cabinet and that was like the biggest difference. And then yeah, I think I also got like a lot of new plants. So anyway.
To freeze my plants in time, so to speak, with these collection tours and give you a chance to see where my collection is at.
This music is a little bit loud. Oops.
But all that being said, a lot of this is subject to change, and I'm not.
But generally speaking, my editing like is improving a bit and filming and stuff. We already just talked about it. Not much had changed.
Plant right over here is my philodendron.
Every time, I'm just so gutted. Every single time I see this plant. It had probably gotten like 3 more leaves or 4 more leaves since the previous houseplant tour. Oh my gosh, it was so pretty. Guys, okay. I keep doing this myself. I'm skipping it.
Persia ornata, technically.
Okay, yeah, my Gapertia still lives here. It has a lot more leaves but I had to cut a lot off since it had thrips.
It's still functioning okay-ish, so I'm just...
Yeah, so like some of this is similar, but I do have a lot of different plants here. And like I have a Monstera albo now that's living on this shelf.
Leaves still, but I definitely need to dust them and give this plant a little bit more love. Of different plants. This is a philodendron pink princess, but I think I'm gonna give this one...
As I already mentioned, like, yeah, I gave this one away. The variegation was pretty, but like the leaves kept on getting caught and it was a little bit annoying.
Growing this plant. I'll skip over this because I went over this in my other video. But over here is
oh my gosh,
a philodendron
no way.
painted lady. I really love this plant.
Okay.
I really need to replenish
that plant that I have now, of like that same plant. It's in the same spot, but it has grown tremendously. I think it's like 3 poles high now, and this is only 1. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So sweet, isn't it?
It never did size up the way that I wanted it to, though, I will say. I moved the air plant there. It did not work very well. I ended up like chopping up and starting over this plant. I did do that, actually. The Syngonium confetti. I think I just put it in water, and it's just living in water right now.
This is a philodendron heteroecene.
I did actually repot it. Never mind. It is in a new pot. Remember how I said, like, I don't think it's been repotted? No, it's in a new pot.
Okay, we're circling back around down here. It's getting a little bit cramped.
Ooh.
Wait a second. Oh no, guys, I think this is rotting.
This is when I realized, like, the air plant had totally died. Oh my gosh. My Hoya calistophylla looks so much better now. It actually ended up rotting, and I had to propagate it and repot it entirely, but it looks way better now.
Platinum or silver hero.
I still have this, but it looks very similar to what it looked like here. It hasn't grown very much.
And then right here is a Hoya chicken farm.
I love this plant. I've only gotten a few leaves out of this one, but it's bloomed for me quite a lot.
I literally just bought a Tasmanian tree.
Yeah, this one also died.
I got it for $5.
It did not last much long after this video. I kind of forgot about it. Yeah, this corner is completely different now. Like, I got like a new piece of furniture. I don't have the table there anymore. I moved the table up to the attic, actually. So I'm actually like so much happier with how it looks now. I think I already said that, but like, it's such a big difference. Because for the longest time, I always felt like this one little corner was like so disheveled and was not what I wanted it to be. But now it actually feels like a proper plant spot rather than just like a place to put plants temporarily. I did get another Anthurium vitarifolium and combined the 2 plants, and now it's huge. It is huge.
Which just started off as like one tiny little cutting, and now it has grown into this, which honestly, I mean, the growth does look a little bit skinny.
It's so much bigger now. It looks so much better. That's crazy. Yeah, see, I was trying so hard with the Philodendron Dark Lord. This was like another iteration. And right now, yeah, it does not look good.
Which I would love for this to be more variegated in the future. Like, it's not doing the best right now.
I did like a little bit of a makeover for this plant, and it looked incredible for a while, but it's like declining again. So I feel like I need to make it over again.
Here in this corner, this is not a permanent place for my Philodendron Splendid, but it's currently where he's at. But I really love this plant.
The Philodendron Splendid is so much bigger. And it did get thrips. So I had to remove some of the leaves, but yeah. I might need to reset it soon and like put it up a different moss pole or like chop it. I don't know. It does look really healthy in this video, which I like, but like it is much bigger now.
Welcome to my bedroom, which is the home of my greenhouse cabinet.
I moved that up to the attic to make room for the crates that are now in my bedroom by comparison.
I need to dust the leaves and such, but yeah, that's that. Right over here is my...
It looks so good in this video. It still looks okay, but like I'm gonna need to chop it soon and like chop and prop it type of deal, you know? It's just getting like a little bit leggy.
Much, like trimming and plant pampering to do with a lot of these plants. I'm often really on top of it, but the last month or so I've been just so swamped at work.
I had gotten so many new plants.
Kind of in semi-quarantine right now, but these are all brand new plants. Like I literally just got them the other day. I have
All
yet
of
to
these
actually
plants are
choose
such
where I'm gonna put them,
babies
but I'll
here. Oh my gosh.
show them to you. This right here is an Alocasia odora.
I just like can't believe how much each of these plants have like grown and changed in the last year.
It's so beautiful. This is my variegated Monstera adansonii. Again, very brand.
I mean, it looks great, but like in the past year, we've gone through like an entire roller coaster with my variegated Monstera adansonii. It like grew like the entire pole. Then I took a cutting for a friend, and then it like turned like the next growth point that came out turned all white, gave me like 7 white leaves, and I was like, okay, we're done with this. So I chopped it and then chopped it a couple more times, and now it has mealybugs and it looks horrible. But like, I'm hoping that we can get to a better spot again. But like, I feel like it started here and was fine. And then like it went to like the top of the roller coaster, you know, it was like so good. And then it just plummeted so hard. And now we're on recovery.
And I'm still shocked that I own this. This right here is an Alocasia. I think it's like Macrorrhiza.
It is so much bigger now. It's crazy. Same for my Frydek. The leaves, I think, are prettier here because there's a lot more white variegation, but it is a lot bigger now. Oh
Here's a philodendron white princess.
This plant has grown so much too. That's crazy. Yeah, each of these plants have all grown tremendously. They're just so much bigger now than they used to be.
Here is a jewel orchid,
I love this plant so much. I still have it. It's doing pretty well. My Ring of Fire, of all of these, I think has been the slowest grower. I've maybe gotten like 3 or 4 leaves in the entire year. And it is on a moss pole now, but like it's taking forever to grow and it's very hit or miss for me. My cabinet looks so like nice and neat and not too overgrown and cluttered.
Questionable. Hang on, I'm gonna turn off like the big girl light. Okay, that's so much better. So let's open up the cabinet. Currently the humidity is at 78%,
Oh, my heart.
which it kind of ranges from like 70% to 85%. Typically. And by the way, this is a Redsta wide greenhouse cabinet.
I kind of miss how some of my plants looked in this phase.
A little bit disorganized at the bottom right now, but like, it's okay. This is my,
Again, R.I.P. Anthurium glarnervium.
rot on me. To be fair, it endured.
It's rotted. It rotted on me like 4 times before it finally perished completely. And like I'd saved it multiple times, but that Serpens looks almost identical to what it looks like now. It's hardly grown at all. It's taking forever to grow. Okay.
I also need to add more moss.
See, it looks so good here. And it's still, now it's like 3 or 4 times as big.
Gorgeous, gorgeous plant. And I don't know what I'm gonna do when it has to leave the cabinet. I keep on saying that.
Girl,
but
it did fine. I moved it out of the cabinet and it barely missed a beat. Oh my gosh.
it is the cutest ever.
My Holy has grown tremendously in this year. That's crazy. I can't believe that. Like, it is so much bigger now by comparison.
Not too distant future. Right here is my Anthurium dark forgetty eye, and this is its new.
Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. Oh. I'm really sad because this plant has 2 leaves right now and it's not doing well at all. And I don't really know why. It did great for like 6 months in my collection and then it started to decline and I don't know. This was when the Cupria like started kind of bouncing back a little bit.
Philodendron white princess.
Like,
and for a while,
even from like over the summertime, like this plant grew so much. Oh, this is another one. This is another one. It looks so good. I'm so sad that it's like not doing well anymore. Oh. It looked so good. Like it's much bigger now, but I think I preferred how it looked when it was small like this and was more like compact because right now it's just a little bit leggy. I had all these new leaves on my Anthurium and this was like peak Anthurium time for me. Like all of my Anthurium were doing so well. I don't understand what happened, honestly.
It's when it's an emergent leaf. But yeah, Anthurium crystallinum has been a really good grower for me.
Literally. Another new leaf.
Magnificum, which is relatively new to my collection. But
this plant is so much bigger now. This is like my one Anthurium that's doing great. These have changed a lot too. I put them up a moss pole And they grew so fast. Oh my gosh.
Into this moss pole, like pretty much all of my plants are on moss poles like this. They've been rooting into them really nicely, which is so happy.
My philodendron atabapoense also really took off.
Moss pole. Actually, I chopped up my
I already kind of talked about that.
original plant. I have a lot of philodendron atabapoense. I've potted some up. I'm gonna give some away, and I have kind of two plants right now that I'm, again, kind of like the philodendron dark lord. They're competing. So I have this one.
I love that I just like had plants competing against each other to see like which one would perform better and which one I would end up keeping. That's funny.
And I have this one. This was the original one that I was thinking that I would make like my...
I gave that one away, I think. This one, yeah, the one on the pole like ended up doing so incredibly well.
It's a Monstera sultipicana, and I do have one more of this, and I think I want to pot them together long term. I really...
Yeah, see, I tried doing that and it looked good for a little while, but it does not look good now. It's ridiculous.
Right here is my Stromathe Trio Star, which...
It started thriving like over that summertime, I think. But it's crazy, like 8 months between the previous video and this one.
It's putting off new growth, and it's so full and lush. Look at that variegation. It's so
I've
beautiful.
moved a lot of these plants around too.
Rena, which honestly has been so easy for me. It's been a great grower. It's super fun, and I can't wait for the day that this blooms.
It hasn't bloomed yet. Oh, this is another plant that I'm like so sad about. Recently, it's been struggling with mealybugs and it has not been looking good. Because like it looks so good in this plant tour. Like it just looks so, so good. So hopefully I can get back to that plant again.
This right here on my messy dresser is my Maranta crutoviana. She just chills here, super low maintenance, honestly. I love how big these leaves are, although these newer leaves aren't quite as big, so.
Okay, it actually looks really good in this tour. I feel like I need to like make it over again because it started looking bad.
This is my philodendron squamiferum, and ever since it got to about this height, this thing has been putting off inflorescence after inflorescence. So many flowers. And I mean, it's because
it looked pretty nice at this size too. Like I liked how it was in the previous plant tour. This also looked pretty good, but it started to get out of hand like in the last year, which is part of the reason that I chopped it all up. It just like stopped looking good. And like all the lower leaves fell off. So like it was just super gangly.
this is my Hoya carnosa crimson.
Again, love this plant. And it grew a lot. Oh my gosh. I can't believe how much it grew in that 1 year.
This is my philodendron brantianum, which I would give the
Oh my gosh, it's so tiny.
Sand Splash. And this is a pretty new plant to my collection, but it's very...
I'm pretty sure this plant got root rot and I rerooted it, but then like potted it back up again. And it's like fuller now. It looks a lot nicer.
But it is putting off a new leaf already, which is super fun. And this is another Hoya that was a starter plant I got in the same order. And it's a Hoya Shepardii, which... ugh,
I'm so shocked. I think my plant has grown a lot more than I thought it had. That's so funny.
I'm excited to watch that grow. And then this right here is an Enjoy Pothos.
Don't have it anymore.
Okay, over here is one of my like main plant areas. I've got pretty...
My living room. I still had the piano. Actually, I switched a lot of things around, but I still was just so unhappy with it at that point.
Like at the moment, it's honestly just like a glorified plant stand. We'll have to see. I'm still kind of thinking on how I want to approach this area in the long run.
And I did, as I already mentioned. We have a completely different piece of furniture and I have a completely different arrangement of plants there now.
But anyway, we'll continue. This right here is a Tenanthe setosa gray star, specifically is the cultivar. And like my other Tenanthe, this one has honestly been really easy, really great.
This has been like a slow and steady plant. Like it is just like, it hasn't changed a whole lot. And it's been the same spot this whole time.
Makoyana, and this plant is going absolutely crazy.
I feel like this was like the high point of this plant. It's still doing similar to this, but like this was like A+.
This is my Maranta Leucanora lemon lime. So it, you know, it's like the green version. So honestly, I love this plant so much. Syndapsis pictus.
Yeah, see, I potted it up. I've repotted it since.
This is, I think, the most recent leaf, and you can kind of see the coloration. This is a cross between a gloriosum and a...
I feel like I don't give this plant enough love. It's so pretty.
Back here is Syngonium albo. Let me see. I'm gonna also grab this to show you. It's
Okay.
a little bit unstable,
You're about to see.
Yeah, this is my Syngonium albo, and this was.
It still wasn't
one of
terrible,
my first rare plants,
but it was getting
collection.
really leggy at this point.
Considered probably quite common by comparison. You can get it for
I'm so glad that I chopped it up and repotted it.
funky, but
Oh my gosh, this campus porta.
quite nice.
This looks so different.
From a friend.
I've chopped up the whole thing and put it up a pole now. I was still trying with the pink princesses at this point, but I've since given up.
Up here I have an array of plants over by this little west-facing window.
A few of the plants are different, but the setup is pretty much the same. Like I have like the 3 hanging plants and then a plant by like the Nintendo Switch. And that's like pretty much the same setup, except I have my Syngonium albo where the Marble Queen is now. And of course, this Chattiscantia chrysophylla like is always growing. I feel like my dining room has been like the most consistent plant space over the last 3 years. Like everything is generally in the same spot. A few of the plants have changed and I've added more to that like south-facing window with like all the hanging Hoya and stuff. But like for the most part, like the vibes and the placement of everything, it's pretty much identical.
This is another Monstera deliciosa. I've got 2 of them. I love them both. I used to have 3, but I gave the 3rd one away. They get big and as beautiful.
And that, yeah, that corner like looks almost identical. Yeah, this is a Silvery Ann and now it's trailing a lot. Pretty much all of this is the same for the most part. Like not completely, but like most of it is consistent, except a lot of these Hoya have like grown so much compared to what they used to before. But some of them have like barely grown. So like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like it feels almost the same, but not quite. I also changed that pillow out. It's a little different.
Years, guys. Like literally, this plant has been a struggle bus for me. But we are finally getting to a point where I'm actually really happy with it. Because look at this. Look at this.
Alas, I did not get any more beautiful fuchsia leaves like that. It's grown a little bit more, but not much. I think it needs to be repotted, actually. This terrarium situation is really cool here, but I ended up kind of neglecting it too much. It still exists, but it doesn't look as good. This Polynera has like taken off so much, especially once I repotted it. Same with this plant. Like this plant has grown so much. Oh my gosh. One of my most prolific Hoya ever. Okay, honestly though, like I'm also kind of commenting on like the video editing and like filming and stuff like that. This is definitely by far like my favorite houseplant tour I've done. Like there are some things I would do differently, but generally speaking, like the way that I filmed it, I'm still happy with it. Like I'm still okay with it for the most part. Like look at this lighting. Like, I don't know. There's something very cozy about it to me.
This is my Hoya villosa.
Obviously, this has changed a lot because I just did a makeover of it.
My Maranta lucanara erythronera.
But you can already see compared to the last one, it looks amazing. And even now, it looks so much better. It's continued to grow so much. I still love where this plant is. So happy with it. Such a good plant. I've also propagated this plant so much. This corner is virtually unchanged other than I've moved the Cebu Blue Pothos onto the credenza.
I know there's a lot of plants right here, but I'm not gonna really talk about any of them because these are all duplicates. These are all...
I, for the longest time, had like so many plants like sitting around cluttering up my space that were propagations and plants I was intending to give away and stuff. And I finally gave them away this summer, this past summer. And I'm so glad that I did because I just feel so much better about my plant collection, like not having a bunch of stuff, like extra plants just hanging around. Oh my gosh, this Jose Bueno, it's changed. Okay, so I like got rid of my Jose Bueno, but it had over the last year like gotten huge, but it never did give me really any variegation, which is the reason I got rid of it.
All right, we're venturing into my not cute basement because this is where my plants are overwintering. So yeah, just right here.
Oh my gosh. My Opuntia cactus looks so different now. That's crazy. I still do overwinter my cacti in this same exact spot. But my Opuntia is like so much bigger now. Oh, there we go. We've reached the end. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I'm gonna echo that sentiment about this video that I'm filming now. If you watched this entire video, you're a real one. Comment down below. Maybe a plant emoji. I don't know. I know that's like super generic and basic, but like, I don't know. I don't have the energy to be more creative than that or to like think of any other emoji. But yeah, comment down below. Maybe like the potted plant emoji if you made it to the very end of this video, because wow, that took forever to film. And I'm really glad that I did, because that was actually super interesting and fascinating. That was a lot. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. It is crazy. It's crazy how much our plant collections can change in a relatively short period of time. And if I like continue this plant channel indefinitely, like I can't even wrap my mind around like how many changes will probably happen, especially, you know, if I move into a new space, like move to a new house, or I don't know, get a new greenhouse cabinet. I'm not really sure. I feel like my collection might change less and less because I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty happy with the plants that I have and I'm pretty happy with my setups. Things are subject to change. We'll see. But I am very much due for another houseplant tour. If you couldn't tell, like a lot has changed, honestly. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. All those things are super helpful for my channel. And yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.